day, Nigeria. Good day, world. Welcome to a new show on Glass FM, The Ballot. Yes, you heard me right, The Ballot. And I remain your host, Kelly the Psalmist. And what we'll be talking about today, we'll be talking about how the INEC elections have been from the start, during the elections, and after the election. What has been going on, how the people of Nigeria are feeling, and how is INEC feeling right now as we're talking on this show. But before I go ahead with the show, I have with me...
Well, you're welcome to another time right here on Glass FM. I'm your boy, Brocketina Wank Emmanuel, and I have to say, welcome to The Ballot.
Alright, good day to you listener out there. I'm Rejoice Sunday and I'm here. Welcome to The Ballot.
Yeah, you've heard the voice of my team, or should I say army, on this show. And we'll be talking about INEC. What has INEC done in this election? Have they done the right thing? Have they done the wrong thing? We'll be finding that out after this insert. Stay.
Of the PRP, 72,144. Adebayo Adeole Ebenezer of the Social Democratic Party, 80,267. Ado Ibrahim Abdul Malik of the YPP, 60,600. Iwanyao Daniel Dabere Chuku of the ZLP, 77,665. That Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
Welcome back, and that was the INEC chairman Mahmood Yakub announcing the election results and the winner as well. So now let's take a look at the preparations, guys. Do you think INEC was prepared? Let me start from Weng Emmanuel. Do you think INEC was prepared, Rocketina?
Well, I will say INEC were 30% prepared for the election. That is to say, kudos to them for giving the date for the election. But as for the process of the election, I doubt if INEC were actually ready. As far as they said, 25th of February was actually the date, and then let's just go with the 25th of February as the date. That is just one thing I have to say kudos with. But for the rest of the preparation, I have to say I'm not too impressed. Coming to the Biva's failure, and then some of the ad hoc staff of the INEC don't even know how to go about operating the Bivas, and that is to tell you that INEC is not really ready for all those things. And then coming back, talking about the Bivas and then the ad hoc staff, when you get to look at it, I guess the only thing we were able to hear on radio was giving a test run of the Bivas on how it was going to be taken care of or another. But going out there, I doubt if actually the NYSC were given an orientation on how to go about with the Bivas. That is to tell you that some other state results, whenever they are announcing the results, everything was just on a manual setting, as it were. I remember watching everything that transpired at the collation center right there in Abuja. That is to say the point in which the senator of Kogi State, talking about Dino Malai, yes, actually was pointing out. He said all those things are not the way they're supposed to be. All what INEC is supposed to do is to cancel the election. While some people were kind of okay, why he was actually calling for the cancellation of the election, it was because his party was losing, but that was not how things were supposed to be done. What INEC actually promised was, as far as people are voting, you'll be seeing the results counting on it. But as far as I'm concerned, INEC was not really ready to say that we're set for the election.
I think you've spoken well, Rokotina. Let's hear from Rejoice.
Okay, coming from my own point of view, from the preparation, I think there were a lot of laxities in the preparation, in the processes. Even from the training, you find out that people were complaining. They actually went for the training, they did everything, and at the end of the day, those that went for the training were not the ones that were picked for the work. That's to tell you that those that went for the elections were not the people that trained, and that's one of the things that caused some of the issues with the Bivas at the election units. You guess my point.
Yeah, definitely get your point.
That's one of the issues that caused, because some of the people that didn't go for the training, they will come and they don't even know how to operate the Bivas, and that was one of the issues that they had. You find out that coming to upload the results in a polling unit close to where I voted, they didn't even know. They were struggling on how to be able to upload the results through in the Bivas. So you guess, they were not really, I think there was issues in the selection of people to serve as the ad hoc staffs.
Now let's get to this. INEC has no reason not to be prepared for these elections. I mean, 4 years. We prepare for elections. You have to prepare for elections ahead of time. I mean, when we watch other countries, we see what planning is all about. They prepare ahead of time. They prepare for the election after an election. Also prepare for an election 2 months to 3 months before an election. In fact, I remember before the election, did a mock election before that election, and things still failed. And they did the election again, and it still failed. We even had issues of people saying the Biva battery went down. Like seriously, we even had people saying what do you call it? Some polling units had different Bivas. The Biva machines they sent to a particular polling unit was not meant for that particular polling unit. So they have to start wasting time going to another polling unit, giving them the Biva. Why? What is the problem?
And another thing I have to say that I'm very, very disappointed in INEC about is the issue of data. You send your representatives with those Bivas in order to take you to those polling units, and at the end of the day, you find out that you don't even give them data to upload those results, to the extent that some patriotic Nigerians
even on hotspot for them, on hotspot. It's embarrassing. Okay, wait. Before we even dissect more, let's take a look at INEC's budget for 2023, so the audience will be able to listen. Now, if you are with us and you are with a pen and a paper, please write this down. Now, as of the requirement, procurement of accreditation devices. The procurement of accreditation devices, they were given 105.2 billion.
Wow. That's a whooping sum of money.
That's not all. For the possible run-off elections, they were given 27.1 billion.
Wow.
Naira, I'm talking about. Allowance for ad hoc staff, 23.7 billion. And I spoke with some ad hoc staff during the elections, and some said they were not paid. The money has not circulated.
Yeah, and even money to
I'm still getting there now.
I'm
still getting there. Rejoice, sorry, I'm still getting there. Now let's get to the election. Election logistic expenses, 23 billion naira. Now, printing of ballot papers, 20.6 billion naira, and we're still hearing that there were still inadequate ballot papers in some polling units. Procurement of non-sensitive materials, we had 12.7 billion naira.
Wow.
Printing of result sheets, we had 9.5 billion naira. Procurement of ballot boxes, we had 7.8 billion naira. Procurement of ballot boxes again, we had 5.3 billion naira. Procurement of operational vehicles, and we had INEC saying that they did not have enough vehicles. People had to use their cars. Some of them even had to climb bikes, or you can call it achaba. Now, procurement of operational vehicles, we had 3.9 billion naira. And INEC says in a total, before we even go, a total we have 239.3 billion naira given to INEC, and INEC was still not prepared for these elections. This is a shame. This is embarrassing. This is something we shouldn't even be talking about.
They made us believe as if this was going to be the best election. That's with the Bivas machine and everything.
True.
They made us feel as if they had everything under control, and at the end of the day, it felt as if they had everything out of control.
That is to tell you, I would have even preferred INEC going back to those days whereby we actually go on with what did they even call it? The usual way, or the analog way of transmitting results and every other thing. Because that is to tell you that there is nothing too big, because I was surprised when Obasanjo actually stormed into the collation center and said, according to the news,
I think some people said that was actually. I think some people actually said that was a rumor. It's not been really confirmed yet, but it's been circulating all over that about Obasanjo's storm. We even had a news about Obasanjo himself stopping some people who were actually entering from the border, who were illegal voters who wanted to vote in a particular region of the country. He had to stop them. We still not confirmed all those things. But before we go further on the ballot, please let's take this commercial break from Glass FM. We'll be right back. Stay.
Come by you.
Mama Joy, you see they do like this. You no go change business pattern. Abi you never hear of Glass FM.
Papa Timo, which kind talk be this one? Wetin that one come in safe? And which one be Glass FM?
Glass FM na better online radio station where they help business women like you, business people entirely sell better market. All you need to do now to wire their green on.
Abeg, wait make I carry my phone.
+234 90 311 01001, or you fit call +234 812 8803452. Once you wire this number where I mention you fit make 1 billion like that woman where they sell kuli.
Oh yeah, make I wire their green now.
Hello, who is on the line?
Glass FM, I need a
Glass FM, making a difference. Welcome to the ballot, and as usual, like I said, I'm your host Kelly Desamis, and I have with me Rocketana and Rejoice. And now let's take a look at rigging. They told us that the Biva's elections will not be rigged, and I must commend the Biva for something. Have you noticed that when you look at past elections, we saw a whole lot of, especially from the northern region of Nigeria, the corner, the northwest and the northeast, we had a number of voters like up to like 7 million. We see a particular region bring out like 7 million, 2 million, 8 million. But in this particular election, it reduced.
Yeah.
So that's to show you that there's something wrong somewhere. Where were all those figures coming out from? Somebody said it's because of the decrease in voters registration, but you can't tell me that there was a decrease in voters registration. We had about 89 million people, voters. So what was happening? What was the problem? Now let's go to the rigging. They said with the Bivas, rigging will not be possible. What is the problem with INEC? We still had them not over. In fact, I feel INEC itself also has a problem within itself.
Yeah, and according to a result I saw online, that is to tell you that people have been flowing some results online. That is to show you when I got to look at the results of Bauchi and that of Gombe was actually the same thing. Yes, according to the result that was going on air. And then that is to tell you that there was a massive rigging, and then somebody actually pointed it out that those results were actually back in 2015, whereby they get to bring all these things and then to get to tell Nigerians that this is what is happening, and then to come back to the collation center to tell you that there was a massive rigging of this election. Why would a party representative, or let me just say a party agent, going into the collation center, going to know fully well that these things are not the way they are supposed to be, and then they walk out? So after announcing the result, who actually among those party agents actually signed that particular result?
Yes, true. They have to sign it.
After calling, who signed?
So that's to show that there's something wrong somewhere. These party agents are not giving those ballot papers to sign.
That is the thing.
Actually, because there's going to be something wrong with that, since the party agent was not able to sign. Maybe the party agent's signature was not even the one written on the result sheet.
Okay, let's come back to this one now. Coming to Plateau State, after announcing the results and the rest of the thing, I was surprised to get to know that the results going to Abuja, it actually reduced. It's actually reduced. Yes, Plateau State, some people said it's up to 1 million, but I saw a post that said we should disregard that result because it didn't happen. But coming to announcing the results over there in Abuja and then coming back here on Plateau State, and then when you compare the results, you know that there is a reduction into that.
Let me say something. Some places, some people who found some conflicting some conflicting figures, like the Bivas, the on the INEC server, let me put it that way. Results on the INEC server were different from what INEC was announcing. Apart from that, we even saw places of INEC not purposely uploading results. We saw one of the party agents, Dino Malai, complaining about that, and a lot of people said INEC is still legal for INEC to do that, because they are legalized to they have been allowed, according to the law, to upload results manually. But when we started checking the according to the electoral laws, Act 20 and or so, we started seeing that results supposed to be transmitted. Now a lot of people have now. English is a very big word. Transmitted. Now, there's a problem we have in our country. We have people who create laws and they don't interpret them properly for us to understand. True. Now, if someone had been able to bring out the laws, fine. If someone was able to interpret those laws for us, it would have really gone a long way. Maybe the transmit we're talking about was maybe transferring to another polling unit or to Abuja, or transferring to uploading to the Biva. It's to the INEC server itself. We would have been able to know, but nobody tells us any clear term. Nobody has been able to bring clarity to that thing. And the INEC chairman was dumb. He was mute. Sorry, he didn't say anything about it. Now let's even move to the snatching of ballot boxes. We still saw snatching of ballot boxes, and we are meant to know that in fact some people said the Biva was used for only accreditation in some polling units.
Let me talk personally from my polling unit. They came. They didn't come on time. And coming to set the Bivas, they were saying there was no network, there was this and that, and it actually took time before they set up the Bivas and they started the electoral process. I stayed there till 2 a.m. in the morning. I was in that queue from morning till 2 a.m. crossover the next morning, and they told us from letter P downwards should go back home.
We even got to know that. Sorry to cut you there, Rejoice. We even got to know that some people in Jos were not able to vote because INEC people came. INEC people were not even available on the day of, even when they extended the voting to Sunday.
Okay, talking about that one, to tell you that there were a whole lot of rigging on this election, and let me just call it election malpractice, to say that a whole lot of people they are voting. Let me just say they are polling units. Imagine if you are voting at polling unit A, you'll find out that coming to polling unit A, they will tell you that no, you are voting at polling unit Z, and then going there before you start looking for the area, they will tell you that okay, sorry, we are done for the accreditation of the day, and then those people that actually were accredited, they will come after and then to get their own ballot papers and begin to vote for. And then there wasn't voter education at the same time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Rocketina, Rejoice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's even leave Plateau State. Let's go to places like Lagos. Let's go to places like Rivers.
Ekiti.
Let's focus on Lagos and Rivers. Most especially Lagos. We saw a celebrity, and I'll mention his name, MC Olomo. We saw him threatening people not to vote a particular party, and nobody was arrested. INEC couldn't do anything on a polling unit. We had one of our musicians' files being beaten up on that particular polling unit, and nobody. We also had one of our actresses, our dear actresses, Choma Chukwuka, beaten on that part on a polling unit, and nobody said anything about it. INEC didn't say anything about it. They even went announcing the presidential result. They couldn't even talk about some of these issues that we saw on social media. Not that they were edited, they were live. We could see it. Now we're not trying to side with any political party. We are focusing on INEC. That's why the show is named The Ballot.
And another thing again, why didn't they cancel the elections on those
affected
areas? You find out that something will happen small, or maybe there are malfunctions of Bivas and the rest of the thing. They will cancel the election on the other side. But those sides that there were violence and some other things, and then maybe ballot snatching and the rest of the thing like that, there was not something like that. And that is to tell you that there was, I want to say this on
conspiracy.
There was no actually conduct to say there was no peaceful, or to say it was free and fair. And then let me tell you something. One thing I noticed at my own polling unit was the security personnel that was actually brought there to oversee the issues of the how the election process is going on don't even have a badge, talk more of having a rifle on.
So now my problem is, let me even bring this down. We had places like in INEC, people complaining that some of the coppers, no offense, some of the coppers operating these Bivas don't even know how to operate the Bivas, and all those things. Now my problem is, INEC had 4 years to put in everything needed for this election. Security number one. We saw places of underage voting in these elections. Am I joking? No. Yeah, we saw pictures on Twitter of this. INEC, my friends, INEC has to know that they're responsible to the people. They are like servants. We put them there. It's our funds. It's our tax money that is funding the whole of INEC. There's nothing you can tell us about that. And they've not been responsible. The snatching of ballot boxes, we've not heard anything about it. The thuggery, we've not heard. People died. I remember a woman was bruised on one side of her eyes. And INEC didn't even have to address that issue. All they went straight to was announcing Ekiti State results. Beautiful. Very good. And we say we are in a democratic country.
And another thing again, the people came out to protest that nothing of such really happened in their own state. And then let me come down to Plateau State a little. When results were being compiled in order to take you to Abuja, if you actually had a free and fair election, I didn't see the reason why INEC should deploy a whole set of personnel, security personnel. Air Force were there, soldiers was there, NSCDC were there, all the security personnel, or let me say all the security agencies were there to guide INEC office in order to compile all those results.
But we couldn't find those amount of people on the election or polling units now.
Exactly. And then to tell you something, when you passed close to what do they even call it, Amotan, when you pass close to it, they will ask you to come back, and then you need to stay with them for, if you are lucky, you stay with them there for like 5 minutes. But if you're not lucky, you end up spending an hour or hours right there staying with them to tell you that if you like, call them so that they will come and burn it down. Is that what a security personnel is supposed to tell you?
To some extent,
just
I think that
you pass close to an Amotan, just to say that, okay, if results were being transmitted, or if the election was a kind of a free and fair one without rigging, all these things, all these security personnel and the rest of the thing, they are not even supposed to be standing in front of INEC gates to say that in case if there will be any protest. That is to tell you that some things of such have been happening.
Okay, before we wrap up the show, Rejoice and Rocketina. Now, I don't know, it seems that this has become a culture. Since 1999, we've been doing elections. INEC, we keep talking about INEC, we keep talking about INEC. And there's one thing that keeps staying there, rigging, snatching of ballot boxes. Now, I want to know, I know we have to involve the people who also are in the rural areas and everything. Because for me, I feel must we make use of ballot boxes in elections? Because it seems that a lot of politicians are already planned in their hearts or designed in their hearts that, okay, once every election comes, I'm going to snatch a ballot box. And it's always successful because they do this in connivance with very top authorities, even with some people in the INEC office. Now, that's not even all. My problem is, moving forward, in the next 4 years, 2027, we'll be having elections. What should we tell INEC? Before we even say, well, should we tell INEC? Don't you think there are some people that are supposed to be fired from INEC because they do not know their job? Don't you think there's supposed to be a total reforming of the whole INEC institution as a whole, as a body?
Well, when you ask those questions, I will tell you that these things can come to pass if Nigeria will stay away, or they will do away with tribalism and then religious whatsoever
sentiments.
Yes, religious sentiments. If Nigeria will be able to oversee all these two things, I will tell you that tomorrow, even if INEC is to transmit results in the center of terminus, nothing will happen. That's to tell you that there was a free and fair election. That's why at times some people will say there was a country.
There was a country.
Yes,
Actually, Chinua wrote a book like that.
Some people will actually tell you that I preferred military regime better than.
I made an argument with somebody. Okay, sorry,
Rejoice, let me come. Why they said they prefer, because we come out to vote, and at the end of the day, what we voted for is not what we are hearing.
And then they promise us that our votes were going to be counted. And then another thing again, you find out that you have the PVC as it is, but yet you cannot use it on that particular side, because sometimes they will tell you that they don't even recognize your PVC.
Some people accreditation did not even work for some people.
Yes,
I can remember.
And then if you go to INEC, you find out that somebody's PVC who is supposed to be in Jos North is right there in Jos East, trying to. I don't know.
Sorry, I don't know. We're almost running out of time. Rejoice, I asked Okutina a question. I don't know. What do you feel about this?
Okay, coming from, I think that INEC should be able to step up their game. Step up very well, because at the end of the day, INEC have been conducting an election for years.
True.
But coming up to conduct election, they will now start conducting the election as if that's their first time. It's actually very bad on the point of INEC. So INEC should step up their game in conducting this election, so that we'll be having a free and fair election where people will not go out to vote, and at the end of the day their vote doesn't count. I hear people talking about I spoke to somebody who was like, he's not going to vote because the last election his vote didn't count. The people they voted for are not the people that are coming into power. That's because of rigging. So they should be able to step up their plan, their game in all these things that they are doing. The Bivas also, they should be able in the next election that is coming. Please, we don't want to hear issues of Bivas shutting down, issues of people not being able to operate the Bivas machine. Please, they should be able to look into that so that we'll not encounter what we encountered in the past presidential election.
Well, that was a beautiful one from Rocketina Rejoice there. And even as we're trying to blast INEC, we also have to give them kudos. Bivas, I know it's a new technology and we're still getting acquainted with it, but I feel there's a whole lot of improvement, and there needs to be honesty. We need to be honest with Nigerians so that Nigerians will believe in the system. When there's no honesty, when there's lack of honesty, now a lot of Nigerians will lose hope. But I want to say to every Nigerian, let's not lose hope. Let's keep voting. Our votes count. This has shown us that our votes count. This election has shown us our votes count. A lot of politicians are scared right now because of how you voted. How dare you listening to me? You've made them know that you place them there, you can remove them from where you put them. So this is I, Kelly the Psalmist, wrapping up the ballot. See you tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the ballot. Don't you go nowhere. It's still Glass FM. Bye bye.
Glass FM, your #1 radio station.